Okay, we're going to start sat down. So if you have maybe just grab a block or a brick. If you don't have one, maybe just a cushion or a pillow. We'll be using it at the end as well. So just keep it to hand. So yeah, we're just going to start sat on our support, whatever your support may be. So yeah, it's just nice to have the hips elevated when we're sat down. So even if it's just like a rolled up blanket or a throw, like a pillow folded in half, anything like that. So once you've got your support on the floor, just sitting down, cross-legged if that's okay for you, and closing down the eyes. Just taking our few moments at the beginning of the class just to settle in. Just taking any movements that you need to, just to settle, relaxing down. And taking some nice deep breaths, nice full inhales. Maybe just sighing out the exhales. Just starting to bring your awareness to your body, to your breathing, bringing the focus inwards. So just starting to switch off from things around you, any noises, any distractions, any thoughts of the day or the week, just slowly coming into your body, into your mind. Just really kind of extending your inhales, extending your exhales. So really trying to fill kind of your whole torso with air, filling your chest, filling your belly. And then nice slow exhales as you release, really feeling every little bit of air leaving your body. And softening as you exhale, finding strength, finding space as you inhale. Really lengthening through the spine, sitting up nice and tall, reaching up through the crown of your head, but keeping that length in the back of your neck, so maybe just slightly pulling your chin kind of down towards your chest. Grounding down through the sit bones. So feeling like the two kind of opposing forces, really grounding down through your sit bones, but finding that length up through the spine. So, you know, really, really feeling yourself grow taller as you sit. So today, yeah, nice gentle class today, nothing too strenuous. We'll be doing some twisting, so kind of focusing on our back, on our spine. Twisting's great for detoxing. It really feels like you kind of, I always see it like when you've got like a wet cloth, like a wet towel, and like you wring it out. That's kind of what you're doing to your spine when you're twisting. So yeah, it's really good for your spinal health. And it's really good just for spinal mobility, strengthening our spine, just finding all the movements of the spine that we need. So just being mindful of that, being mindful of your back, being mindful of how your back feels, you know, not overdoing it. If anything doesn't feel right, as I always say, listen to your body. If it doesn't feel right, then come out of the pose, have a rest. Just being mindful of your movement. Just taking a few more nice deep cleansing breaths here. And then slowly starting to stretch out the neck, so we can keep the eyes closed. Just dropping one ear down to the shoulder, stretching out the side of your neck. And then slowly semicircling down, down and round, stretching out the other side of the neck, and just pausing wherever you need to in this movement. So just noticing how your neck is feeling, if there's any tightness, any tension, just pausing there, just gently easing it out. And then slowly bringing your head back to center, lifting it up, and then just looking over one shoulder. And slowly looking over the other. So just bringing that other movement into that top part of your spine. So keeping the shoulders facing forward. And just letting your spine do the movement. One more look over each shoulder. And then coming to face forward again, open the eyes if you want, you can keep them closed if you like. Coming into your shoulder rolls, so lifting your shoulders up to your ears, and then pulling them back and down, taking some circles the other way. Again, just taking whatever movements you need to here, just loosening up all around the shoulders, bringing the arms into it if you need. Okay. And then letting the shoulders just melt down, down and back. Reaching up with your left hand or right hand, it doesn't matter which one. Really reaching up to the sky, just watching that shoulder doesn't kind of creep up to the ear, keeping the shoulder back and down, but really finding the length through the arms. So extending all through the side body, again, feeling that length all the way from your sit bone, all the way up into your fingertips. And then slowly coming into our side stretch. So we can just bring the other hand down for a bit of support. And really kind of leaning into that side, finding a really good stretch all down your rib cage into your hip. And then coming back to center, same on the other side, reaching up, watching that shoulder doesn't creep up to the ear. Finding that nice length all down the side. And slowly just easing yourself into your side stretch. Keeping that sit bone firmly on the ground, not letting it lift off. Good, coming up, reaching up with both hands, reaching for the sky, pulling the shoulders back and down, finding that length in your side body, and just watch that you're not kind of like pushing your belly out. So I know I have a tendency to do this. As you reach forward, we kind of push our belly out, and then really pulling your belly button back towards your spine, so you're keeping your core nice and strong. And then we're going to twist over to one side, just bringing your hand to the outer, just the outer edge of your knee, other arm comes behind you. And then you can kind of take your gaze over that shoulder as well, so fully twisting round. Coming back to center, reaching up, lengthening through the spine, and then over to the other side. Okay, one more time each side. Nice big inhale up to center, and exhaling down. Watching you don't kind of soften into the back. You want to keep your spine nice and tall as we twist. And then taking your gaze over your shoulder. Inhaling up to center, and exhaling down. Good, coming back to center, facing forward, just uncrossing our legs and then crossing them back the other way. So putting the other leg in front that you wouldn't normally use. Clasping your hands in front of you, pushing the palms out towards me, or towards the front. Just pulling the shoulders back, so just watching that your shoulders aren't creeping forward, pulling your shoulders back and down, lifting the arms up overhead. Keeping the spine nice and tall, and again, just watching that you're not kind of arching into your back, pulling that belly button back towards the spine. And then slowly coming down through our cactus shape, all the way down, clasping the hands behind us, and opening up the chest. Nice long inhales, And full exhales. Releasing the hands, clasping the other way, so just moving your grip down one, putting the other little pinky on the bottom, stretching the arms out, stretching the palms, stretching the wrists, pulling the shoulders back, keeping the shoulders down as we lift up. Trying to keep the arms straight if we can. Don't worry if they're a little bit bent, that's fine. Just as long as the shoulders are away from the ears. And then bringing the hands down into our cactus shape. All the way down. Clasping behind us the other way if you can. Opening up the chest. Nice long inhale and full exhale. And releasing. Giving your arms a bit of a shake. Just bringing the legs out in front of us at like a 10 to 2 position. So you can see. So you want the feet like pointing out. Yeah, 10 to 2, and then the knees kind of following the direction of the feet. Sitting up nice and tall to begin with. Bringing our left hand down inside our left leg, just so our hands kind of resting on the side of our ankle, and then reaching up and out with the other arm. So finding a nice straight line between your fingertips, and then just using a bit of pressure between that arm and your arm and leg, just to kind of help twist you around and open up the chest. And really extending out through the arms. Nice, coming back through to center, bringing the other arm inside the other leg, and then reaching up with your top arm. Really engaging with your breathing here. As you inhale, maybe reaching out a little bit further, and exhale, softening into the twist. Coming back through to center, we'll come through to hands and knees. So just if you've been sat on a block or whatever you've been sat on, just keeping it to one side because we'll need it later on. So just have it within arm's reach of your mat. And then coming through to all fours, coming into our cat-cow. So just making sure we've got nice widespread fingers, really grounding down through our hands, through our knees, through the tops of our feet. So really nice, strong, firm base. And as we inhale, coming into our happy cow position, our full belly, and then exhaling into your angry cat. So really curving up through the spine. Nice, slow, mindful movement here, trying to feel every part of the spine move. Inhaling as we come forward. Exhaling, rounding the spine. Following your breath, your movement. Then we can maybe take some moves from side to side as well. So bringing the right shoulder kind of round to meet the right hip, and then swaying over to the other side. And then just taking kind of any movements that you need. Just listen to your body. Coming back into some cat-cows. We can go round and round. A nice warming up spine. Okay. Coming into your neutral spine when you are ready. Reaching forward with our left fingertips up to that front corner of the mat, and then sweeping down and round, coming into our shoulder sweep. So really extending out through the arm, nice big circles. And then you can move into the hips with this. Just find any movement that feels good for you. And then taking a nice big inhale, reaching up to the sky. We're going to pivot on our right knee, bringing the left leg out towards the end of our mat, and then reach up and over with that left hand. So you're finding a nice stretch all down the side of your body. Keeping your hips nice and high, grounding down through that left foot, really reaching out through the left fingertips. Really nice full body side stretch. And then coming back down to all fours again. Just realigning ourselves, making sure our knees are under our hips, toes pointing backwards. Same on the other side, so reaching forward with your right fingertips, sweeping back and round, and up and over. Nice big inhale to come up, and exhale down. Really reaching out through the fingertips, finding that full range of shoulder movement. And then next time we reach up, just pausing up there, nice big inhale, reaching up to the sky, then pivoting on your left knee this time, right leg comes to the back of the mat, and then reaching your right arm up and over. So really grounding down through that right foot. Feeling a stretch all the way from your fingertips, all the way down to your foot. And then slowly coming back to your mat. Okay, good. Finding our neutral spine again. Pulling our belly button back towards our spine. Engaging our core, pushing up through the shoulders. Stretching out with our right leg first of all, so pushing back through our right heel. Just opening up the back of the leg. And then slowly lifting up our right leg at the same time, lifting up our left arm. So opposite arm, opposite leg. Trying not to sink into that lower back. So really engaging our core here, pushing back through that right heel, reaching forward with the left fingertip. And then coming back down to the mat. Same on the other side, pushing back with our left heel first, so just finding a nice stretch first of all through the back of the left leg. Keeping the toes tucked under. And then slowly lifting up that left leg, reaching out forward with our right fingertips. My plant's in the way. And finding our balance. Nice firm engaged legs, so toes pointing down towards the floor. Reaching forward with those right fingertips. Coming back down to the mat. Okay, finding our plank position. So making sure our hands are underneath our shoulders, one leg then the other, full plank. So nice and strong, engaging through the thighs, rounding through the shoulders. And then lowering the knees down to the floor, untucking the toes, squeezing the elbows in, lowering all the way down to the mat. Engaging our legs, so pointing, kind of pointing our toes and then pushing down into the mat through the tops of our feet. So we want to feel our kneecaps lifting here, so nice and strong through the legs. Hands come underneath our shoulders. As we inhale, just peeling the chest up off the mat, and then exhaling down. And just doing a few more little movements, just using your breath. Peeling up as you inhale, lowering down as you exhale. Again, just finding that gentle movement, that curve in the spine, a nice little wave motion going on. Okay, next time you inhale up, let's pause here, hovering the hands off the floor, finding that strength in the back. And then exhaling down. Pushing up through hands and knees, tucking the toes under, coming up into our downward facing dog. So just taking a moment just to find your down dog, your first down dog of the session, maybe paddling out the legs, stretching out the backs of the knees, pushing down through the hands, straightening the arms. Nice long inhales, full exhales. And then slowly bringing your weight forward back into our plank position, into our vinyasa, lowering down to the mat. Inhaling into your back bend, maybe peeling a little bit higher off the mat this time. Exhaling down, pushing up through hands and knees, tucking the toes under, downward facing dog. Lifting the hips up nice and high. Firming up the thighs, so nice strong legs here, whether they're bent or they're straight, it really doesn't matter. And then shifting forward into our plank. Lowering down to the mat. You can always bring the knees first down if you need. Squeezing the elbows in, inhaling into our back bend. Exhaling down, pushing up through hands and knees, downward facing dog. So starting to feel a nice heat coming through the body, feeling nice and warm. Using our breathing, full inhales, full exhales, releasing the head, releasing the neck. And then coming into our child's pose, so bringing the knees nice and wide, toes together, hips back and down. And we can just kind of creep the hands forward here, lowering the head down to the mat, fully releasing down. Releasing around the hips. Remember, you can always use your block or your brick. If your hips don't quite meet your feet, you can always just pop something between your hips and your feet. Completely up to you. It's just quite nice to have a bit of a point of contact if your hips aren't quite meeting your heels. So yeah, completely up to you. Just have a little bit of a play around with it. And the same for your head. You can always use a bit of support for your head here. If there's any strain on the neck, if the head doesn't quite meet the floor, you can always use your brick, which is always, sometimes it's quite nice to use anyway, actually, even if your head does meet the floor. It's nice to have a little bit of a support there. So just finding your child's pose, relaxing into it, settling down, feeling your breathing. So really being mindful of your breathing. In child's pose, obviously, you can hear your breath a lot better in your little cocoon. So yeah, really being mindful, elongating your inhales, elongating your exhales. Just allowing yourself to fully soften down. Okay, coming into a bit more of an active child's pose. So pushing down into the mat with your hands, lifting your elbows up off the floor, and then kind of creeping your fingertips forward. So you want to find that length through the side body, kind of through like almost into your armpits, all the way down your arm. And then we're slowly going to walk the hands over to the left-hand side of the mat. So keeping that engagement through the arms, so keeping the elbows lifted from the floor, and then almost like leaning into that right side of the body. So you can feel a stretch all the way down through the right arm, the right armpit, into the side body. And then slowly walking the hands back through center, over to the other side. Good, coming back through to center. When you are ready, coming back into our all fours, bringing our knees underneath our hips, coming back into our downward facing dog. So lifting the hips up nice and high, melting the heels down towards the mat. Opening up the backs of the legs if we can. Don't worry if the legs are bent. And then slowly walking forward up to the front of our mat. Keeping our feet hip distance apart, coming into our ragdoll, so holding on to opposite elbows, swaying from side to side. Just finding nice gentle movement, letting the head hang heavy. Then releasing the hands down to the mat. Nice big inhale, uncurling all the way up to standing. Reaching the hands up nice and high. Inhale and then exhale as we fold all the way back down to the mat, hinging at the hips. Inhaling, coming up. Exhaling down. One more time, inhaling up. And exhaling down. This time we'll stay down, coming into our forward fold. Again, don't worry if the legs are straight here or if they're bent. It really doesn't matter. We just want to be able to get that movement into the hips. So we're hinging from the hips. Coming into our halfway lift, reaching forward with the crown of the head. Hands can come to the shins, the knees, the thighs. Just finding that kind of straight spine position. And then hands come down to the mat. Let's take a big step back with our left foot. Coming into our low lunge, so lowering that back knee down. Making sure our front knee is directly over our front ankle. Reaching up to the sky. Coming down through our cactus, maybe finding a little bit of a back bend. And then inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Inhaling up. This time we'll bring our right hand to our right hip, reaching up and over with our left hand. Lowering our right fingertips down towards the mat and then reaching back with our right hand forward with our left hand. Reversing it, so pointing to the ceiling with our left hand, right hand comes down to the floor, reaching up. And then as we come forward, bringing our hands into prayer, tucking our left elbow over our right knee, so coming into our twist, opening up the chest, using slight pressure on our hands just to ease us into the twist a little bit more. Opening back up, so opening our arms, right hand comes back, left hand forward, and then the left hand comes down to the mat, right fingertips up to the ceiling. Bringing the right hand down, framing that front foot, tucking the back toe under, stepping forward, halfway lift. And then folding down, stepping back with our right foot this time, low lunge. Reaching the hands up. Cactusing down, all the way down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. One more, sweeping forward. This time the left hand comes to the left hip, up and over with the right hand. Left fingertips come down to the mat and then sweeping that left arm back, right arm forward. Reversing it, so bringing the right hand up, the left hand, you can either kind of rest it on your back or just reach it down to the mat. And then coming into the twist, hands comes to prayer, tucking that right elbow over the left shoulder, the left knee, and settling into your twist. Opening your arms back up, left hand back, right arm forward, and then the right hand comes down to the floor. Reaching up through the left fingertips. Bringing the left hand down. This time we'll step back into our plank, into our vinyasa. So coming through your plank, lowering down to the mat. Inhaling into your back bend. And exhaling, pushing back up into our downward facing dog. Walking, stepping, hopping the feet forward, up to the front of the mat, coming into our halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhaling, sweeping the arms all the way up. And exhaling into our Tadasana. Just going to open the window. So finding our strong standing position, feet hip distance apart. Grounding down through the feet. So really feeling kind of the weight, your weight go kind of all four corners of your feet. So you can maybe take like a little rock from side to side, forwards and backwards. And then just finding kind of your center point. Feeling nice and grounded down through the floor. Firming up the thighs, pulling up the kneecaps towards the hips. Tucking the tailbone slightly under so you're lengthening down through the spine. feeling like someone's kind of pulling you up all the way through your spine, reaching up with the crown of your head, tucking that chin back, so watch that you're not extending into the neck, and then bringing the shoulders back and down. Reaching the hands up high, and then just taking a hold of one wrist with one hand. Again, doesn't matter which side we go first, coming into our side stretch. So just kind of pulling that arm up and over. Really breathing into the stretch. Nice full inhale, and then softening as you exhale. Coming back through to center, other side, so just holding onto the other wrist. Really feeling that lovely extension all the way down your arm, your armpit, your ribs, your hip, all the way down the side of your leg. Good. Reaching back up to center. Nice big inhale and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, hands come to the mat, step back with our left leg. Coming into a high lunge this time, so we can keep this back leg lifted. There is an option to have the leg lowered if you need, that's absolutely fine. We're going to do exactly the same flow on this in the high lunge position, so if you do need to lower that knee, please do. Reaching up to the sky. Coming down through our cactus. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Nice, strong through the legs, trying to keep that back leg straight. Inhaling up. This time the right hand comes to the right hip, reaching up and over with our left hand. And coming into our twist, so right arm back and left arm forward. Reaching up to the sky with our left fingertips, strong through the legs. And then coming into our prayer position, tucking that left elbow over the right knee, coming into our twist. Really trying to open up the chest here. Opening up the arms again, right arm back, left arm forward. And then the left hand down to the mat. Reaching up to the sky with those right fingertips. Bringing the right hand down, stepping forward with the left foot into our halfway lift. And then exhaling down, same on the other side, so stepping back with our right foot, finding our balance first. Strong through the legs, lifting up into our high lunge or low lunge, your choice. Catching the arms back and down, inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. One more time. Inhaling up. Left hand comes to the left hip, right arm up and over. And then coming into our twist, left arm back, right arm forward. Reversing, so right fingertips up to the sky. And then bringing the hands to prayer, tucking that elbow over your knee. Extending back out into our twist. And bringing that right hand down, left fingertips up to the sky. Good. Bringing the left hand down, stepping back into our plank, vinyasa. Lowering down to the mat. Inhaling into our back bend. And exhaling up and back into your downward facing dog. Hips nice and high. Pushing down through the hands. Engaging through the core, strong through the arms, strong through the shoulders. And then looking forward, walking, stepping up to the front of your mat. This time bringing the feet together, so squeezing the feet together, the legs together will come straight into our Utkatasana squat. So keeping nice and low, reaching forward with the hands. Just taking a look down at your knees, making sure your knees aren't coming over your toes. And then bringing the hands into prayer. We're going to come into our twist again. So just hooking that right elbow over the left knee, just making sure that right knee doesn't come forward. So pulling that right hip back. Coming back through to center, reaching out the arms. Bringing the hands to prayer over to the other side. Squeezing those legs together. Pulling that left hip back. Coming back into our Utkatasana, standing up nice and straight. Reaching up to the sky. Coming back into our side stretches. So just gently pulling that hand up and over. And then over to the other side. Reaching the arms back up to the ceiling. Coming back into our cactus, exhaling all the way down. Clasping the hands together. Opening up the chest. Maybe taking your gaze up towards the ceiling, little mini back bend. And then bending into the knees, folding forward. Trying to keep your feet together here if you can. If you can't, then you can have them slightly apart, that's absolutely fine. Releasing the hands, sweeping back into our Utkatasana squat. Hands come to prayer, right elbow over left knee, coming into our twist. And this time we're going to step back with our right foot, so trying to find our balance on that left foot. Nice big step back, going back into our twisted lunge. Extending out the arms, right hand forward, left arm back. Reversing, right hand comes up to the sky. Then bringing the left hand up to join it into our high lunge, pivoting into our warrior two. Reversing, reaching the left hand up and over, right hand just comes to the back leg. Into our side angle. Left elbow to left thigh, reaching up and over with our right fingertip. Then bringing the right hand down to the mat, reaching up to the sky with our left hand, twisted lunge. Bringing the left hand down, stepping forward with that back leg, bringing the feet together back into our Utkatasana squat. Keeping the hips nice and low. Hands come to prayer, this time twisting the other way. So left elbow to right knee. And then taking that leap of faith back with your left foot. Stepping, sliding, hopping back. Extending out the arms into our twist. Reaching up to the sky with the left fingertips. Sweeping the right arm up to join us. And then pivoting into our warrior two. Just making sure that back foot's parallel with the back edge of the mat. Front toes facing forwards. Reverse warrior, right arm comes up and over. And then right hand, right elbow to right knee, left hand up and over into our side angle. Bringing the left hand down to the mat, reaching up with our right fingertips into our twisted lunge. Right hand comes down, stepping back into our plank vinyasa. Lowering down to the mat, squeezing these elbows in. Inhaling into our back bend. Exhaling, pushing up into our downward facing dog. Just always taking a bit of time in your down dog just to get your alignment right, making sure you're pushing down through your hands, feet are hip distance apart, heels tucked away behind the toes. Taking some nice long deep breaths here. Releasing the head, releasing the neck. Good. Coming back down into our child's pose. So bringing the knees wide, toes together, hips back and down. And releasing down into the mat. Again, nice full deep breathing. Taking our right hand, we're just going to thread it underneath our left elbow, our left armpit, sorry. Finding a nice stretch around the back of that right shoulder. So just kind of moving, wiggling around, just finding your stretch. If you want, you can then bring that left arm kind of and gently rest it on your lower back. Just coming into a bit more of a twist here. Or we can just leave the left arm on the floor. Whichever, have a little bit of a play around with it and see what's good for you. Okay, wherever you are, slowly bringing that right arm back. Same on the other side, so just threading those left fingertips through underneath your right armpit. Just bear in mind, it might feel very different this side. Just finding that nice stretch across the back of the shoulders. And then we can always bring that right arm kind of resting on our lower back or even reaching round to the left hip. Just depending how much movement you've got in your shoulder today. Just have a little bit of a play around with it. Good. Bringing that left arm back, coming through to hands and knees. We'll come through to seated. So bringing your block back if you need your block. That's absolutely fine if you don't. But again, sometimes it's nice to have that elevation through the hips. Stretching our legs out in front of us. So really pulling the toes back towards us. Nice engagement in the legs. It doesn't matter if the knees are bent here, that's absolutely fine. Reaching up through our fingertips, reaching up nice and tall, finding that extension through the side body, extension through the spine, and then folding forward, bending the knees here is fine. Just finding your forward fold, nice opening through the backs of the legs. Softening on your exhales, finding that space. And then slowly bringing yourself back up. We'll bring in the left foot first. So keeping the right leg extended, nice and firm right leg, pulling the toes back towards you. Left foot comes in nice and close, reaching up with our right fingertips. And then twisting round, holding that left knee, hugging it in towards you. And just bringing your hand behind you just to help support, not to be leaning on it. Keeping your spine nice and tall, engaging through that straight leg. And bringing your gaze all the way over that left shoulder. Coming back through to center. Bringing in your right knee, extending out your left. Right heel comes in nice and close. Reaching up with your left fingertips. Extending all the way through that side body, which is going to help us into our twist. And then bringing those right fingertips behind, watching that left leg doesn't go floppy. Pulling those toes back towards you. And really softening into the twist. Good, coming back through to center. We'll bring our feet back into our 10-2 position. And we're going to come back into the twist we did at the beginning of the class. So bringing our left hand down towards our left ankle, reaching up and out with your right hand. This time you can come and find the bind if that's available to you. So we can bring our left hand, kind of make it through underneath your left thigh and bringing the right arm behind you, clasping your fingers if you can. No worries if not, we can just stay in our open twist, that's absolutely fine. And releasing wherever you are, coming back down to center, into the other side. And again, you can just stay in your open twist. You want to give the bind a go, just sneaking that hand through, left hand comes up and over. And wherever you are, releasing, coming back through to center. Shifting ourselves slightly forward on our mat, we're going to come through to lying down. Reaching forward with our hands, coming down, as always, nice and slowly with control, engaging the core, finding that nice curve in the spine, all the way down. Once we are down there, squeezing the knees in, having that nice little rock and roll, massaging your spine into the mat. And then keeping the knees in, we're going to stretch out our arms. So unclasp your knees, stretch out your arms at shoulder height. So really reaching out through the fingertips. And then we're just going to gently rock our kind of knees, our hips from side to side. Just finding that nice movement around the lower back. Taking it as slowly as you like. If you want to come all the way down onto the mat. But trying to keep both shoulders grounded, so don't worry too much about twisting all the way down to the side. If it's lifting your shoulders up off the floor, then please just come out of the twist a little. Okay. Coming back through to center, squeezing your knees back into your chest, lifting up your head, lifting up your shoulders, bringing yourself into a little ball. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then releasing back down, stretching out your left leg, keeping your right knee nice and close. Taking some circles with that right knee, so nice big circles. Really releasing into that right hip. Nice massage into that right hip. And then taking that right knee with your left hand, bringing it up and over into our twist. The right hand comes out at shoulder height. Reaching out with the right fingertips, and then maybe taking our gaze over towards the right fingertips. You can close down the eyes here, really relaxing into the twist, softening with your exhales. Just releasing any tension. Squeezing out that spine. And then coming back through to center in your own time. Squeezing both knees in. Coming back into our little ball, so lifting up our head and shoulders. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then exhaling out, down. Extending out the right leg this time, squeezing that left knee in. And then taking our nice big circles with that knee. Taking the left knee with our right hand, coming into our twist, up and over, extending out the left fingertips. Oh, and really exhaling, sighing into your twist, releasing down, releasing any tension, softening, relaxing. And then slowly bringing yourself back through to center. Bringing both legs in, and then we're going to bring our feet flat to the mat, hip distance apart, toes pointing forward, coming into our bridges. So finding that kind of pelvic tilt first of all. So really, rather than just like lifting your hips straight up off the floor, really tilt your pelvis first, like bring your tailbone up first, and then slowly peeling your spine all the way up. Nice and slowly, inch by inch, all the way up onto your shoulders. And then exhaling all the way down. Take a few more rounds, maybe just trying to follow your own breath. So nice long inhale as we come up. And nice long exhale to release down, trying to place each vertebra one at a time all the way down onto the mat. The slower the better here, nice and controlled. Really grounding down through the feet, nice even weight through your feet. Strong through the legs. Just taking a couple more rounds in your own time. And then just grabbing your block or your brick or your cushion or whatever you had at the beginning of the class to sit on. We're just going to peel up the hips and then just place that support underneath the back of your hips. So yeah, it can be a pillow, a cushion, a rug, a throw, a blanket, anything. Just we want a slight elevation in the hips here. Just a little mini inversion just to finish off. So bringing the hips above the level of your heart. And we want to place it right on our sacrum, so right at the bottom of our spine, so it should feel nice and comfortable. And then opening up the hands towards the ceiling. Maybe just snuggling your shoulder blades a little closer together, so opening up the chest, relaxing the back of the shoulders down into the mat. And just fully releasing your hips down into the support. Maybe closing down the eyes here. And starting to fully relax down. Nice, slow, deep breathing. Just noticing how your body's feeling. Noticing where there might be any tension, any tightness. And breathing into that space, actively releasing. Take some nice, long, deep, full breaths. Good. When you are ready, slowly just lifting up the hips, just enough just to slide that block away from underneath you, or whatever you were using, lowering back down to the mat, extending the legs out, coming into our Shavasana, final resting pose. So keeping the arms nice and wide. Again, just finding that opening through the chest, palms facing up to the ceiling, feet just flopping out to the side, maybe giving your legs a little bit of a shiggle, a shake. And then just letting them fully release, heavy, heavy legs. Taking a really good, full, deep inhale, filling up your chest, filling up your belly. And a big sigh out. Taking two more of those. Nice big inhale, filling up with air. And nice long exhale, sigh it out. Nice long inhale and exhale, fully relaxing, fully releasing. Releasing your feet, your calves, your ankles, your knees, your thighs. Letting your legs feel really heavy. Letting your hips feel really heavy. All the way up your spine, into your shoulders, letting that whole back line of your body just melt into the mat. Fully releasing down, fully surrendering. Releasing any tightness around your abdomen, your torso, your chest, your arms, your shoulders.
Letting your head be really heavy, releasing the back of your neck, all the way through your scalp, softening around your forehead, your eyes, your temples, your cheeks, your jaw. Allowing your face to fully relax. And then maybe taking a couple of nice, long, deep breaths, breathing some life back into the body. Wiggling your fingers and toes. Bringing some movement back to the feet, the hands. And when you're ready, coming into your nice full pencil stretch. So bringing the feet together, hands together, up and overhead, stretching out. And then squeezing the knees back into the chest. Maybe having a little rock from side to side. And then coming to rest just on your left-hand side. Just staying in our little fetal position, bringing our left arm underneath our head, just to give our neck a little bit of support. Slowly, slowly pushing yourself back up to seated when you are ready. Coming back into a cross-legged position or kneeling, legs out, whichever position you find comfortable. So once we are there, finding our nice tall spine, grounding down through our sit bones, really reaching up through the crown of the head. Taking some nice long deep breaths. Nice big inhale, lifting the shoulders up to the ears. And exhale back and down, bringing the hands together in front of your heart center. And blinking open the eyes. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Have a wonderful evening.